Hey guys, so this video is going to be about recruiters, just my experience with different recruiters. So I am joining the Navy gravy, brown like gravy, but um, I'm joining the Navy. Originally, when I first wanted to join the military, Navy was my pick. But unfortunately, from the first time I ever thought about the Navy till now, I was not always a straight shot. The road was curvy. It had some forks. I took a few wrong turns, okay? I have seen the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, the National Guard. I have talked to so many different recruiters. And I don't know why my experience has been so bumpy. Like, why are there so many rocks and bumps in my road? It's just ridiculous. But anyway, throughout high school, I remember junior year was the first time I took the ASVAB because that was the first time I seriously started talking to recruiters. And I was talking to a Navy recruiter. I started talking to this Navy recruiter, but he just seemed like he was not interested in me. Like he was not, like he just did not care. Like he could care less if he met his end of the day mark or whatever. Like, dang, like I know your job is just to get people in, but he didn't even seem like he cared about that. Like he just did not care. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my neighbor is making a lot of noise. Like I can hear them, everything they're doing from the time they walk in. So, since I felt like the Navy recruiter didn't care for me, I went and talked to the Army. I was like, "What's up, Army?" I know the next step probably would have been the Marines or the Coast Guard, but the Marines were just being too much for me. Like, the Marines were on my case. Like, they were really persistent. Like, too much. I knew I was not going to join the Marines no matter what. They were just too much for me. Like that man, he was a short guy. The Marines recruiter was a short Hispanic man who was always happy and he just was always there. Like he was always at my school. He was in the way I was an exercise person. I was an athletic freak. Like I was that person that ate spinach during lunch and carrots for breakfast. Like I was that girl. And that Marines guy was just always there, so it seemed. And I just didn't like that. Like it's like I liked it, but it was like I didn't want that attention from you, dude. Like I'm not joining the Marines. So I just didn't want it. But so I went to go talk to the Army because I was like, well, Army always trying to get somebody. So I went and spoke to the Army. And I spoke to the Army for a good time. Like, I did a lot with the Army. I got my measurements. I started, filling out paperwork, but I never signed anything. I had a very good relationship with my Army recruiter. Professional, guys. I had a very good relationship with him. He took me home. He showed up at my school. We worked out. Like, he made me feel like the Army wanted me. And I know that's what they're supposed to do. Like, I know that, but like, everybody wants to feel loved and wanted. So the Army guy was really good, but deep down in my soul, I was talking to the Army guy from 2015. And in 2015, it wasn't no big deal to me. But when 2016 came around and this new election stuff started coming in and our candidates, sorry, Army, it was never really going to happen. Like, honestly, like, I think today, though, if I did, like, something happen where I couldn't join the Navy, I would join the Army. But Trump and Hillary not about to get me. They not about to get me. So that was that. So then I was talking to the National Guard. I don't know what stick was up this guy's butt this day. But I was talking to the National Guard, and I did not get no further than a phone call. Because when I called this man, I called him the first time and he seemed nice. But the second time I spoke on the phone with him to set up like a date to actually meet and stuff, I don't know what was going on. Like, I was at school. I had a half day for my senior year of school. I just graduated 2016. But so I was about to leave school, hop up in the whip, drive off. But before I got in the car, I called and I spoke to him because, if anything, I could have drove up there at that moment. Like, my school was right down the street from the National Guard place. So, but when I got on the phone with him, he just had some type of attitude. Like, why? Like, he was asking me questions. And I don't even think the attitude was intentional, but he was asking me questions. And I was answering the question. I was answering his questions on top of asking my own questions because I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I only know what's out there for the world to see. And everything ain't as it seems. So I was asking my own questions and he was just ignoring my questions, just flat out ignoring them and continuously asking his questions. Or he would ask me the same question that I had just answered for him. And at one point I was just like, excuse me, sir, I want to advance in this, but I need to know some things first. And that's when he was just like, well, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't need this. At the end of the day, I don't need the military. At that point, that's what I was thinking after that attitude. Like, I don't need you. I don't need your National Guard. I don't need the military. I really don't. The reasons I'm joining the military are not for you. Like, they're not because I have to. Don't get it twisted, honey. Anyway, let me calm down. But yeah, so after that whole shebang dang, I went back to the Army. I continued talking to the Army. And that's when I started furthering things with the Army. At the same time, though, I still had the Navy in my back pocket. Like, I was still doing stuff with the Navy. But then, I let my family get in my ear. My friends get in my ear. And everybody was spitting Air Force. So I was like, Air Force? I didn't even think about the Air Force. Whoa. So I called the Air Force. Like, at this point, I was starting to get frustrated because it's starting to get down to the last final months of high school. And, the recruiters always have this thing where I don't know if it's for them or if it's really for us, but recruiters always would tell me, you want to start getting things, if you're going to join, you want to join before you graduate because there are more opportunities for us, high school graduates or high schoolers that are about to graduate because they want us so bad, right? So it was getting down to the final months of my high school, right before I was about to graduate. Like, it's about to be springtime, and even though it snowed in April this year, it was getting down to the nitty gritty. And I was starting like, I don't even have questions no more. So I called, my bad, sorry. I'm nosy, y'all. But I called the Air Force. And at this point, I'm just like, hello. Hi, you have reached the Air Force recruiting Miami. I like to join the Air Force. Okay, well, what do you know? What types of questions do you have? I don't have any questions. I want to join the Air Force. Just send me what I need or let me come in and we can get things started. That's what I said. And literally the lady on the other line was like, okay, well, what's your email? So I gave her my email and she sent me like the whole pre-qualification thing. And I filled it out and I sent it to her in a Google Docs attachment because in high school, in my high school at least, my senior year, all my classes were on Google Docs. Like, all of them. all of them. I cannot go to school and still feel like I'm in class. You know, that's why I originally had a laptop, was because of that. So I sent it as a Google Docs attachment, and she emailed me back and was like, she can't do nothing with that. I have to send it like a normal, yeah. So I resent it to her. Never got a response back. Never. Like, why, lady? Why? I thought I was being cooperative.